We stepping slow at dawn, mystic journeys on the door. Boots still muddy from the trail, we bring the woods inside the floor. Woven baskets by the bench, sage and yarrow in the air. Old hands pass a soft-born truth like firelight we learn to share. Be impeccable with your word, don't take it all to heart. Don't make a spell of what you see, we begin where we are. Mystic journeys hold us close, mystic journeys we belong. For agreements, for bright stones, we keep walking, we stay strong. Mystic journeys hold us close, mystic journeys sing it on. Grateful hands and open doors, we are many, we are one. Out past the cedar line we kneel where the chanterelles hide. Bitter greens and rosemary, moon white stems in soil and pine. Someone names the healing leaf, someone knows the mushroom sign, someone tells a grand old tale, and we pass it down in time. Don't assume the wound is yours, don't invent the cloud. Speak with care and listen deep, let the circle be proud. Mystic journeys hold us close, mystic journeys we belong. For agreements, for bright stones, we keep walking, we stay strong. Mystic journeys hold us close, mystic journeys sing it on. Grateful hands and open doors, we are many, we are one. And if the week has worn us thin, we bring it to the table. Soup and stories, cracked out laughs, the kind that make you able. Ancient wisdom in the stew, in the herb jars, in our names. Every act of gentle care turns the dark into a flame. Mystic journeys hold us close, mystic journeys we belong. For agreements, for bright stones, we keep walking, we stay strong. Mystic journeys hold us close, mystic journeys sing it on. Grateful hands and open doors, we are many, we are one. We are many, we are one. Mystic journeys hold us close, mystic journeys hold us close.
Hey everyone, welcome to Mystic Journeys with HB Derek and Nerdy. How are you
How's
guys?
it going?
It's our Wayback Wednesday episode. Cool. It's our Wayback Wednesday episode. We are on week 36. Measure
36.
the
Yeah.
obstacle against the dream. We'll also do a little bit of talk on tolerance. What is tolerance? The paradox of tolerance. And we'll talk a little bit about some plants, some mushrooms, and some space stuff too. Cool. Are you guys hearing me okay? Oh,
I think
I
I
see
just
that
lost
went
my
out.
camera.
Okay.
I can't see you.
Let me see here. Can you still hear me?
We can hear you.
Try this.
And while he's taking his time fixing that, everyone make sure to hit like, switch to all chat, and buckle up. We got a action-packed episode today.
There we go. That's better. I'm back.
How'd you do that?
It's magic.
Magic, baby. Magic of the internet.
Yep. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice that it's cooling off outside. We're getting some rain, getting some sprankles. And it's cooling off real nice right now. I'm gonna get some mushrooms the next couple of days. I'm excited about that. Finding some good stuff.
The hail was falling earlier. You had a crazy chandelier effect. It's crazy.
Nice. Yeah, HB was saying he's getting some rainbows earlier.
Always, because the afternoon sun shines directly on the grain. Go ahead, Derek.
I was just gonna say I got rained on riding home from church. I rode the motorcycle, and on the way back it started raining. Yeah, that's never fun. But it wasn't too
Especially
bad.
on a motorcycle. Yeah.
I like Philip's new outfit.
Philip, he's looking good.
Dressed up for the show. So, any single ladies into skinny guys over here?
I mean, how rude. I should have asked Philip, how are you doing? That's what I thought. That's what I expected.
Yeah, I hope everybody's having a good night. But yeah, well, honestly, I hadn't planned a specific thing to do a giveaway, but I would like to do a giveaway because our good friend Bob, some of you may know him as Proppy, gave me a bunch of capsules to give away. More than I know what to do with on my own. So why don't we go ahead and give some of these away tonight? Later on in the show, we'll figure out a fun way to do a giveaway. We'll throw that in a package and, send you guys some Mystic Sacrament made by a fellow Mystic, just not here on the show, but he's usually listening, lurking quietly in the shadows.
Cool.
Good old Bob.
We appreciate the donation, man. We'll make sure it finds a good place to go.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you guys stay tuned. I'll go ahead and read today's prompt before I get into the reading. Again, the title was Measure the Obstacle Against the Dream. There's a title from an unknown author here. When the water starts boiling, it is foolish to turn off the heat. Today's prompt is, what is something difficult you are facing, or what is something difficult you've gone through, and what good came of it? It's a pretty short reading. We'll go ahead and read it. You've probably been through, going through, or will go through something difficult. Sometimes you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and other times it feels so bleak. One of my favorite reminders of perspective is to measure the obstacle against the dream. While writing this book, I've gone through a divorce, questioned my faith and myself, and felt the passion slip from what I thought would be my career for the rest of my life. Most of what I thought I knew is in question, even as I type these words. But even in the midst of it, I absolutely know it's foolish to turn off the heat. As difficult as this period of time has been, I've learned more in it than I have in a lifetime. In fact, these experiences are what led to starting this movement. Again, today's prompt is, what is something difficult you're facing? What is something difficult you've gone through? What good came of it?
Let's open up to the chat. If anybody in the chat wants to answer that question, please do, and I'll pull it up on the screen. Something difficult you're facing. What is something difficult you've gone through, and what good came of it? Well, I encounter difficult stuff all the time, but usually the experience alone just provides personal growth. Once you experience it,
Mhm.
you're going to get through it a lot much easier the second, third, fourth time.
Right.
It's not a surprise anymore. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I know how to do this. This is fine. As everything else is burning around you, you're like, yeah, this is fine. I can
Mhm.
deal with this.
Mental training in a way, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Derek?
I'd say I don't know. I've gone through a lot of difficult things, um, but probably the divorce, like finding my wife cheating on me was it's pretty crushing at the time, and I 100% took it personal. All the why did she do this to me, and blah blah blah. But then it was actually my real dad. I don't quite have a good relationship with, but I reached out to him because he's got a lot of experience in divorces, and he had said it's not about you, and I was like, why is she doing this? It's not about you. He kept telling me that, like, and I would, end up trying to go back to like, you know, I didn't do anything. Just it's not about you, like that was his answer. At the time, it pissed me off, because I'm like, this is happening to me. It is about. But now I look back at it, and I'm like, yeah, it wasn't about. I mean,
Yep.
I am responsible, I think, or at least I take some ownership in her cheating. I could have been a better husband, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
And I think if someone doesn't look at that aspect of it when something like that happens and says that other person's bad, what what do you own out of it then? You know what I
What are you
mean?
taking
Were you
accountability
the
for?
perfect husband? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think so. Or were you the perfect wife? Probably not. I mean, there's a reason that someone would
Hmm.
away something that should be perfect. And if both parties aren't working to make it perfect, there's that dual cause, you know, uh, it, or we'll say a paradox, right? Because you have both parties should be working at it. And if one
Yeah.
is putting in the effort and the other one isn't, you know,
Yeah.
then you find someone else to give them attention. We all crave attention, and then someone else is filling in your role, giving your spouse attention. I don't think there's just one person to blame when something like that happens. But like
Definitely.
that was a big one for me. Losing my mom recently, but at the same time, I don't really think of that as like say something bad that happened. It sucks it happened. I wish he would have lived till 80 or older, but it's a part of life, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm really blessed that I had 2 extra years with her from her diagnosis. Stage 4, she hung on for 2 years, and then also blessed that she went quickly. And like it was really, I would say, less than 2 weeks downhill. I think closer to a week, really. Of bad days, and then she's out of here. You know,
Right on.
so there's people that suffer a really long time before they leave.
Yes, sir.
And
Right.
she didn't.
And it allows you to kind of enter a new chapter into your life too, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Whole
yeah,
different
but
chapter.
a lot of these things, like these challenges, I kind of not blocked them out as far as like suppressed memories, but I don't give them much energy and much thought anymore because it doesn't serve me to do better. You know, it's something you go through, you learn from, and move on. And there,
Right on.
if you keep back at it, like you're gonna think of all these things that suck in your life. You should be focusing on what's going to be good later.
Well said, man.
Like,
And, this is a great kind of topic leading into what we're about to talk here about tolerance. It's kind of the idea of, especially with divorce, for sure. What are the things that we're willing to tolerate? What is tolerance like, and where is the line drawn? And it's probably just like we talked about with the idea of good and bad, right? Just depends on the circumstance. It depends on the person. Like, what are you willing to put up with to try to see the good in people? And when have you had enough? And when is that line gone? And how do we deal with people who we don't tolerate, or things that we don't tolerate, or sometimes it's even ourselves that we don't tolerate very well, right? In certain aspects or situations. So I think that's a good
I'm
point
gonna
for
pull up a
that. But
couple of these messages in the chat where they were talking
yeah,
about some of
definitely.
the difficult things they're facing. Kim said, I find it difficult dealing with my parents getting old. They refuse help, yet struggle. Yeah, but that's really heartbreaking. Mike Baraball says, addiction is my biggest problem right now.
Mm-hmm. It's a big one for a lot of people in some
health
aspects.
Problems from the drugs, neuropathy, real bad, and wounds. Yeah. Let's see what else. That's it right now. But on that note, I would like to kind of talk about one more thing on here.
Go
the
ahead.
point of what was being said here, let's go back to that quote. When the water starts boiling, it is foolish to turn off the heat. Don't give up. When you get through it, you'll be stronger and you'll be better off. Don't give up. I see a lot of people in my life that have in the mycology field. So many people have come and gone over these past just few years. It's because they keep giving up when the water starts boiling. It starts like you're almost there. It's ready to put your pasta in, but then they like, oh, it's too hard. Let's go do something else now. Like, come on, you had it. You had it. You had it.
5 feet from goal.
Mm-hmm.
That 5 feet from goal story. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. It's usually those moments where we're closest to our goal without even being able to see it a lot of times. And that's the commonality you're going to notice. Everybody has hardships or had difficult times, at least at some point in their life, because that's just how life is. It's kind of the experience of life, right? It gives you the full spectrum of it all, really. But kind of what I was just talking about is my answer to this question. You know, the universe rewards courage and creativity, figuring out how to solve a problem, how to figure out how to solve an obstacle, when it seems like there's no way to go around or over or under. How do we get past this wall? How do we figure this thing out? And sometimes it's a combination of what faith and effort. It's kind of what Masashi was talking about. You know, have faith in God and the Buddha and the gods, but don't rely on them. You know, because the universe, it's not just going to pick you up off your feet and push you around. You're going to have to. It might pick you up, but it's going to need you to put the effort in to keep walking, keep yourself up.
Kim, keep going before the devil knows you're there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about, big guy.
I like that
100%.
Kim just said, if you're going through hell, keep going. Weston Churchill. And just like Derek was saying, you know, just keep moving so that the devil doesn't notice you're there. Yeah, it's funny. Good points.
Yep.
Yeah.
All paths that we take are rocky roads, you know. It just depends, like, are you willing to go through that rocky road to get to the oasis on the other side of it? It's good stuff, man. Yeah, let's go ahead and just switch gears right into our topic about tolerance today. First of all, I'll just start by reading the definitions of tolerance. Tolerance means the capacity to accept, endure, or allow something different, such as opposing views, physical contradictions, or material variations. Tolerance means the capacity to accept or endure or allow something different, such as I just mentioned. The willingness to accept behaviors, values, or beliefs that differ from your own, even if you don't agree with them. It promotes peace and fairness by allowing people with different backgrounds to live together without fighting, respecting a neighbor who celebrates a different holidays or holds different political views is an example of this. There's medical and biological tolerance, which is slightly different. It's the body's ability to endure substance or a drop in response to it after repeated use. Mike was just talking about addiction, so this kind of talks a little bit about this. Over time, a person might need a larger dose of medication to get the same effect. Needing a higher amount of a painkiller because the body has grown used to it is an example of this. And then there's also engineering and manufacturing tolerance. Um, it's an allowable limit of variation in the size, weight, or physical dimensions of a manufactured part. An example is a metal bolt can be slightly longer or shorter than the exact target measurement as long as it stays within the safety range. So again, there's different definitions of tolerance. Um, Rooted in the Latin word tolerare, to bear or endure, true tolerance means holding back judgment or hostility towards things you find contradictory to your own views. Tolerance does not mean you accept, endorse, or celebrate an opposing idea as equal to your own. It just simply means granting others the freedom to exist and think differently. It acts as a baseline civic virtue that prevents conflict and allows diverse groups of people to live together without trying to force anyone into uniform beliefs. Okay. Starting with that, what are your guys' thoughts on this so far?
We see it every day in politics. You know,
It's a
I
good
mean,
point.
Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter. You know, oh, now you're a fascist and racist and everything else. You know, and none of those things say that the other lives don't matter. Just like
Yeah.
breast cancer awareness. It's not saying, hey, who cares about other cancer? We just care about breast cancer. No, it's just bringing awareness to a situation. You know, but I think people kind of use that White Lives Matter as a trigger, to stir up emotions that they really don't need to. You
It's a
know,
great point.
but when there's a problem and someone has that Black Lives Matter, it's not saying other lives don't matter. It's just saying there's a
100%.
problem going on.
Because to your point, injustice is a really hard thing for people to tolerate in
Yeah,
their mind, right?
but then
100%.
also there's violence, in that. Like, well, I don't agree with you, and well, where free
Division.
speech go? What happened to free speech? I can't, as long as I agree with you. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, then it's hate speech. That isn't right either, you know. But I think people do need to be careful about, you know, uh, how they word things and stuff like that, and how they
Right.
express themselves, to
Yeah.
not be offensive to people. And there's a lot of things now that were cool, or, um, like when I was growing up, everything was retarded. People call things retarded. Oh, those gummies are retarded, and just that doesn't apply. Like we've grown, we've learned, and
Yeah.
it's not something I'd like to see brought back. I think
No.
that's just
Yeah.
it wasn't good. It wasn't right back then either. And there were some people that were smarter and be like, dude, you shouldn't be saying that. But they were very, very few and far between. I think now we have better information and we're able to conduct ourselves a little more appropriately.
Right.
Oh, that's so
Great points,
gay.
man.
That's so gay. That's so gay. That
Hmm.
beanie's gay. You know what I mean? Like everything was gay or they were retarded, and that ain't cool talk. You know, and I'm glad we don't do that anymore. We think we've gone better and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
the other side of it was the violence of people getting upset about it with the wanting physical injury or something. What happened to
That's
free
the
speech
issue,
then?
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So the issue becomes whenever you start inciting violence on people and infringing on their rights. That's a
You know,
great point,
words
dude.
words do still hurt.
100%.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
What do you think, Nerdy? What's your idea of tolerance in general?
well, it's really, really important to be tolerant of other people's beliefs and the way they live. But it's where I draw the line is where other people are being super intolerant of other people's choices and the
Hmm.
life ways of life.
Right.
Um, I don't know. This is something I've been thinking about a lot lately, especially after Telluride. Like how long do you wait until you're just like, you know what, this is just
Exactly
the way
right.
this is just the way this person is. And
Mhm.
but at the same time, like, do you just cut that person off entirely? Or do you give them some
Mhm.
time to heal? Because they're not going to be where they're at right now in 6 months.
And
Um,
everybody's path's different. And love is like it's a hard thing. Love doesn't just happen. You have to work for it sometimes, you know?
yeah, but love in my mind is pretty unconditional. But just because I love somebody doesn't mean I have to stay around and let them treat everybody poorly.
Right. And that's where tolerance comes into play. Like I've reached my limit
Yeah.
with this
Cutting that,
or this person
cutting,
or whatever.
cutting someone
Yourself
off.
even.
Yeah, protect yourself, but cutting someone off. If you're the only positive influence in their life, they see you. You know, you're going to take that light away. Then all they're going to know is
100%.
darkness, and you know, there's a good chance that they're not going to be much better in 6 months because you were shining, and now they don't see that light.
That's
Yeah.
But
why I think this
you
is such
also
a great
can't.
topic because there's no right
It's
answer. I wish I could look at you guys and be like, we should always just tolerate everyone all the time, or we should never be tolerant of anyone ever. But neither of those is right. And the answer is somewhere in between, depending on the person, depending on the situation, right? Because
also
tolerating too much could get you hurt. Tolerating not
carrying
enough could
myself
be
with carrying
putting people out in
myself
the
with
dark.
grace is really, really important too. So just because I'm not going to tolerate the way they're behaving doesn't mean I have to stoop to their level
Oh
100%.
no,
either.
no,
Um,
yeah.
and I did do that, and I kind of regret it, but at the same time, like, I just don't know how to move forward now. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Hey, let's talk about it a little bit more. Let's first of all, I want to show you this chart here. This chart is what's known as the window of tolerance. And again, this window is different for every single person, but in that window, you have the polar opposites of what tolerance is. You have hyperarousal on both ends of the spectrum. You have hypoarousal and hyperarousal.
The red one.
Hyperarousal is high energy whenever you get angry or anxiety or overwhelmed and things are chaotic, fight or flight response, things like that, right? A hypoarousal is whenever we shut down, we become numb, depressive, passive, withdrawn, freeze. We have a lot of shame and guilt. Um, that's the other end of the spectrum. What what our window of tolerance is things that we feel grounded, we can handle, we're flexible, even though it's not things we're used to dealing with, we can deal with it. We're open and curious about these things, and we're present in the moment, able to emotionally self-regulate. So those are the things that we can tolerate. Anything that is outside of that realm, even a little bit, is things that we either can't tolerate or have trouble, difficulty tolerating, right? In general.
Hmm.
What you guys' thoughts on this? I don't want to go too fast here. We'll
Yeah,
just
I
bite
do.
this off
I
in little
agree that you
chunks.
said that everybody's window of tolerance is different because I know I have a very, very, very large window of tolerance before I become either hyper aroused or hypo aroused. And sometimes I'll be completely hypo aroused in a situation and then just swing completely the other direction just because I was basically just matching the energy. But it's really important to try to maintain that state of grace and don't let people control you that way. You don't give them that power over your state of mind. You need to keep your peace, be water, keep your head about you. And in order to do that, you have to stay in that window of tolerance in one way or
Yeah,
another.
right. What do you think, Derek?
Yeah, I agree. Especially like I always say, you got to protect your peace and not get down to someone's level. If you're gonna get on someone's level, it should be someone that you look up to as a higher vibration. You know.
Right. Good point. I have. Let's switch things just a little bit. We're still talking about tolerance, but this is the paradox of tolerance, and I have a quote here from a gentleman who kind of coined this term. The paradox of tolerance. Unlimited tolerance must be led to the disappearance of tolerance. If we extend unlimited tolerance even to those who are intolerant, if we are not prepared to defend the tolerant system against the onslaught of the intolerant, then the tolerant will be destroyed and the tolerance with them. We should therefore claim, in the name of tolerance, the right to not tolerate the intolerant. And there's even a great quote here. I'm sure you guys have heard this before. Um, Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times.
And sometimes
Um,
good times makes small burgers.
this is kind of the idea of recession and depression and the cycle that we live in, right? In our economy and our world around us. I have just a couple things to read on this. Some Star Wars stuff too. I think I'd like to go with this as well. Let's see if we can pull us back up. The paradox of tolerance state is that if a society is tolerant without limit, its ability to be tolerant will eventually be seized or destroyed by the intolerant. Philosopher Popper introduced the concept in his 1945 book, The Open Society and Its Enemies. Total tolerance means accepting all ideas. However, if intolerant groups gain a platform, they often use that openness to destroy the rights of everyone else, very much like what Derek was explaining. Popper argued that to maintain a tolerant society, that society must be intolerant of intolerance. Popper did not mean that you should immediately ban speech you dislike, as long as people can counter intolerant ideas using rational arguments and public opinion. Suppression is a mistake. Intolerance only justifies restriction or force when the opposing side refuses rational discourse, forbids reasoning, and threatens physical harm or violence. And I think that's really nice because that kind of really puts it into perspective what we were just talking about where do we draw that line? And for me, I feel like that's a really great place to draw the line. As long as people are not justifying, restricting, or using force when opposing sides, or refuses rational disorder, forbids reasoning, and threatens physical harm or violence. I feel like as long as people aren't doing that, you just have to let them live their life. But if they are, then we should have zero tolerance for that type of thing. Abuse, for people and animals and things like that, or intolerance of people hurting other people or opposing other people or suppressing other people. But one of the great things that I learned about this, like the best way to get somebody with a bad idea to shut up is just to give them the platform, to let them speak on the biggest platform they can, and people will realize what they're saying is not true. The truth will come out eventually, right? This is actually in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. The Galactic Republic is bound by democratic bureaucracy and tolerance of different political fractions as it fails to recognize the threat within. Chancellor Palpatine uses the Republic's own legal systems and emergency power to legally transform a democracy into a fascist empire. Very much, again, like what Derek was trying to describe as a perfect example, if you guys are Star Wars fans, of what we're kind of talking about here. And just to finish this up, unlimited tolerance fails if a society is tolerant of everyone, even those who actively want to eliminate tolerance. The intolerant will use that freedom to destroy the tolerant society. Popper argued that to maintain a tolerant society, that society must retain the right to not be tolerant to intolerant ideas. Popper suggested the first meeting intolerant ideas with rational argument and public debate, and society should only suppress or refuse to tolerate intolerant movements when they refuse rational debate or instead resort to violence, force, or the subversion of reason.
This really reminds me of like we went through with COVID. Like, if you express that you didn't want to get the shot, if you were on Facebook and you're like, I don't want to get the shot, people are like, oh, I hope you die. And they would say some of the nastiest things in the world.
Even though it's their body and they can do what they want to with it. It's crazy.
And it was disgusting. And then you're like, oh, what happened to my body, my choice? So, I mean, there's that paradox again. You're going to tell me I need to do something to protect others. It doesn't quite make sense. But then you're going to wish harm on me for not doing it. And then, I don't know. It was that was a very strange time, and then if you tried sharing something that, had some reliable sources, it would get flagged and removed, as propaganda, whatever. And
right.
it was all like one-sided. There was no tolerance to questioning the science. We were just supposed to trust the science. Don't question it. What are you, a monster? You're going to question the science? Trust us. Don't,
It
and
shows
was
we
like,
need more love. We really do.
yeah,
We need way more love today because it's just to your point. If I worked with somebody and if I had an opposition to any political figure that you could say, and they did the other person liked that person, and all they would talk about is this person, I could choose to not like them, and I can let them ruin my day and my work experience because they keep talking about this person that I don't like. But at the end of the day, as long as they're not harming anyone, and that's the thing, we like to try to attach. We like to think that people liking a thing or supporting a thing is hurting us or harming us. It's false beliefs because in the reality of it all, they have the right. That's the beautiful thing about America and the place that we live in. We have the right to believe or support whatever we want, as long as people aren't harming other people, as long as they're willing to debate it with open and rational ideas. Like, you know what, this is why I like this person. You're looking at all these negative things. We could say that about. We talk about this with the Christianity, with the Bible a lot. A lot of people want to pick out negatives and pick out the bad things in it, the hypocrisies or whatever their mind chooses to be negative about a thing. When it's like, but that's not how I choose to look at it. I choose to look at it like this, and a piece of light, a piece of opportunity, a piece of growth. So it's like that with people. And if we choose love with somebody that we have a problem with in the workplace or problem with in our neighborhood or our family, if we just choose love, like, you know what? They're harmless. Yeah, they have dumb ideas. One of them thinks the earth is flat. I don't think the earth is flat, but you know what? He's still a good
Adam.
person. I can still have a conversation with him about the Rams or whatever. And we were just reading a story about this in the Wayback a couple weeks ago about whom have you not seen? There's a quote in here from John Steinbeck that says, I wonder how many people I've looked at in all my life and never seen. Because you're looking at them through this lens of programming that you have in your head, rather than just looking at them brand new, like a brand new person, like, wow, this is an interesting dude. There's been tons of people. I have tons of friends that I don't agree with on everything they think or say, but that makes my friendship with them more pure because I love them for who they are, not what they think, you know? And that's being tolerant of people as much as you can be because they're not hurting anyone. Yeah, there may be these things or that thing or whatever, but
A friend of mine
gotta let
believes
it be.
something stupid. And I'm like, good for you, buddy. That's fine
Right
on
on.
you. That's, you know what?
Maybe we're wrong. I
It's
like to think that a
revealing.
lot.
It's revealing, but I'm not going to hate you about it. I'm just going to be like, oh, come on, man.
But maybe it isn't though. You know, I was
Give me
saying
a
this earlier
hug.
about Einstein. If we were around during the time of Einstein, we would have thought he was crazy. We would have thought we would have thought he had some screws loose, man. But turned out what he was saying was actually right. So I like to think about life like that. Like maybe what these people are saying, even though it's crazy, and I don't have to buy into it if I don't want, but maybe what they're saying is true. And then how do we learn? We debate about it. We bring proof forward, like Derek was saying about the COVID thing or whatever, right? Political things, anything you could name. Like this is about flat Earth. This is the facts. These are not. And speaking of flat Earth, we'll have some proof here about why the Earth isn't flat. If we have any believers in the chat, there's actually a lunar eclipse coming up. I could get lanes to that right now, actually, and show you guys there's a lunar eclipse coming up, and this proves that the Earth isn't flat. It's going to be visible in
Most
most of
ignored
North
fruit in your
America.
grocery store has been called the fruit of the gods by every civilization.
It's called the fruit.
Sorry about that. We'll get into that in just a second here. But this is going to be the deep partial lunar eclipse will take place on Thursday night, October 27th, into early morning of Friday, August 28th, starting at 10:34 p.m. EDT. So this is going to be visible across most of North America with peak coverage reaching about 96% of the moon and Earth's dark shadow. As you guys can see here, as long as you're within this range, which again, most of the United States is, we'll be able to see it. So you have no special eye protections needed to see a lunar eclipse, just like with a solar eclipse. You guys can watch it with your bare eyes. It'll be super red. So just look out for the moon being really dark and red.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think
I feel
tomorrow
like me,
night.
you're always looking forward to things like this because there's always this once in 50 year thing or whatever, right? So
I
I'm
don't. I
actually
don't
not
dose.
sure how
I don't dose the sacrament very
often this
often,
happens.
so I think tomorrow night might be a perfect night if it's the
Hey,
eclipse.
be sweet, dude.
Yeah, Might be a good time, especially with everything
We
I've been
recently,
through recently. It's nice to have a good reset.
cool. Maybe I'll join you, man. We recently had Dolly Parton pass away. She passed away yesterday. So to honor her, we'll be covering a Rick with HB with Dolly Parton tomorrow.
And Tim Curry.
100%. As well, the original Pennywise and It.
And so much more. He's done
So much more.
so
Voices and things like that. You're right.
yeah. Tim Curry's amazing. Was amazing. But yeah, they were both 80, and they were both born exactly a month apart.
Exactly right. One day, down to the day. It was like they were born on the 16th or something like that. The same day, 1 month apart.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, isn't it?
It is. It is.
All right. So yeah, rest in peace, guys. We'll be covering them tomorrow, or at least Dolly anyway. Let's
what, a landslide or tidal wave or something like that in Nepal? Have you guys seen any of the footage on that?
No, sir.
It's really, really bad. So
Okay.
yeah,
our thoughts go out to people in Nepal. Yeah, it's crazy. They had a monsoon.
It was like when I watched, it looked like a mudslide. That this big, huge thing of mud and debris just racing through a valley, taking everything out. And this little snippet that I watched said there was at least 150 people in that area right there. So
No way.
The absolute destruction from it, but it's bad. So
yeah, if you don't mind, do us a favor and keep us updated on that.
Yeah, that's terrible. Thoughts and prayers, everybody. Keep them.
Yeah, 100%.
I hope these people are okay. Most of them, I'm sure, are, but
And if
I'm sure there's a lot.
by chance anyone has family in that area, reach out to them and make sure everybody's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I have not heard about that. Let's
they're broke in the Himalayas and it flooded the river. So
yeah, the melt from the snow.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
yeah, it shows you. I mean, water is just so powerful.
It is.
We're praying for
Yeah, nature
rain,
is
shrooms,
wild, dude.
But then you get something like
yeah,
that.
it's a little too much.
Yeah.
What was this about?
All right.
Papayas?
Yeah, let's do that real fast. This is just my little nature piece for the day. Super great for something you can add into your diet to switch things up. Show you.
Most ignored fruit in your grocery store has been called the fruit of the gods by every civilization that's ever tasted it. The Maya called the papaya tree the tree of life and considered it sacred enough to worship. When Christopher Columbus landed in America, his crew had been at sea for months with minimal food, so the native people fed them a feast. But after months of near starvation, their bodies couldn't handle it. That's why his crew got extremely sick. So the natives took them into the forest and gave them fresh papaya, and the crew would eventually recover. Columbus was so moved, he called it the fruit of the angels, and brought it back to Europe as one of the greatest things he'd found. Every culture that discovered this fruit independently gave it the same reaction. So the fruit you walk past every week has never once failed to impress anyone who actually stopped to try it, which is pretty insane.
Yeah, it's tropical fruit. It's got known for its soft orange flesh and abundance of black peppery seeds, which you could actually use as like a supplement for pepper.
Really?
It's widely celebrated for its rich nutritional profile and its signature digestive enzyme, papain. So the natural enzyme, I guess I'm saying this right, papain or papain, breaks down tough protein chains. This effectively reduces bloating, gas, and occasional constipation. 1 cup provides over 100% of your daily recommended vitamin C. This actively boosts overall immune function, packed with lipocene, carotenoids, and vitamin A. These compounds fight cellular oxidative stress and support healthy skin. So skin for immune support. High fiber, potassium, and Z-xylithin protect your cardiovascular system and help guard against macular degeneration. Pick a fruit that has mostly yellow to orange color and yields slightly to a gentle squeeze, so it has soft texture to it on the outside. When you squeeze it, cut the fruit in half lengthwise. Use a spoon to scrape out the round black seeds. Squeeze lemon or lime juice over the raw flesh. The acid helps cut through the fruit's musky smell and amplifies its natural sweetness. Save the seeds. Do not throw them away. If you like spice, the seeds are edible and can be dried and ground up as a peppery, gut-healthy substitute for black peppercorns. Some of the risk that you should pay attention to is pregnancy warning. Avoid unripe or semi-ripe papaya if you're pregnant. Unripe fruit contains high amounts of latex, which can trigger dangerous uterine contractions. If you have known latex allergy, you may experience itching, hives, or swelling when consuming papayas, so be careful of that. And while the fiber and papaya are excellent for gut health, overindulging can cause abdominal cramps and diarrhea. So just make sure you're watching how much you eat. And it's a new thing to add to your diet to stay healthy out there. It's pretty cool. You can use the seeds too as well as the pepper substitute. Pepper's
That's really
great for you
neat.
too, by the way.
How
But
about the
yeah,
pepper? That's cool. I didn't never knew that.
well, I'm here, buddy. Speaking of that, while you're here, go ahead, Derek.
I was just gonna say I have a short video here of
Yeah, sure. Go
Nepal.
ahead, man. My gosh, it's devastating, dude.
It is absolutely terrible. I just watched another video too a moment ago. Just shared it in the chat. It's nuts.
It's wicked.
So many people had to have died.
Yeah,
I'm sure they don't even know right now.
Wow, it's had to be a really long time since there's been a flood that big.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of insane.
Yeah. There's the video that I seen earlier. They showed that river there, and it was pretty dry before this came through. Like it was kind of low, and now this. And the video I watched earlier, it was bridges that were wiped out, and then coming down and taking out another bridge.
It's insane, man. Mother
See, now
Nature does not care.
There was a bridge.
It does not care about your home or your infrastructure or your city. It really just doesn't care. It will eat you up and spit you out. You have to respect it. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts are like, what could we have done to prevent this, and what do we have to do to prevent it again? Like, what could we have done differently to make sure these people didn't get into the situation, and what do we have to do to make sure it doesn't happen
The only
again?
thing you could do is not build there. That was going to happen.
100%. Like, they need to know that this could happen in the future, as far as from here on out.
It's like Pompeii, you know.
Right.
You never know, and no matter where you live,
St. Helens was the same way, right?
And like,
but
Wyoming,
at least they had a heads up for that kind of thing.
You know, Wyoming is on top of a giant volcano. It could explode at any moment. We don't know.
Yeah.
When we live in, man.
When I went to school, you probably heard the same thing. Like someday California is going to break off and slide into the ocean. You know, it hasn't happened yet. You know, and I hope it never happens. You know, but that seems like that could be a reality from what scientists say. So,
what do you think, Phil?
He says, "Don't."
Yeah,
panic.
that's what we thought. That's what we thought. He's like, "Chill, dude. Don't panic." All right, nerdy. Let's see if you can guess one here.
Let's see
a couple different ones here.
Interesting.
Kind of dry. They were kind of dry whenever I found them. They pretty much look about the same.
Let me see underneath there.
Oops.
Where did you find it? In some grass?
On the side of the road on some grass. Yep, next to a creek. No, I'm shaking a word. There you go.
My instincts tell me it's probably Miracimus aureatus. It's the fairy ring mushroom.
Okay.
They dry out and they kind of keep their shape, and when they rehydrate, they keep growing.
Hmm.
And they're an edible mushroom. I've seen recipes of people drying them out, grinding them up into a powder, and making cookies out of it like a flour. But
I can
I'm
see
just
that. Kind
guessing.
of has like a.
It's hard to say with it being a dried up mushroom, but
Wow, it has a
there's
really
ways to
unique smell
test
to it.
it. Yeah, I think that it's kind of like a very, very mild candy cap. Like it kind of has that maple syrup taste, but it's like it's barely there.
It's a little bit more umami than that. It's
Mhm.
almost like a sweet barbecue chip or something, How it has like smoky, savory, sweet.
But when it's young and fresh, you can grab it by the bottom of the stipe and shake it, and it'll just flop
Hmm.
around, and it's a very durable mushroom.
Okay, cool.
It's one of the
So yeah,
tests you can do in the field. You know, like just really be vigorous with it, and you're like, hey, look at this thing, watch it flop around and not break.
cool. Yeah, I've
Kind
heard
of
you
like
talk
the
about this
Rustlers. You're
before.
like, hey, check this thing explode when I throw it at a tree. Yeah.
Sweet. Um, and I know we got like 10, 15 minutes left or so on the show. One thing left we got to cover. We're gonna do some harm reduction. We had tons of people at the most recent event that we had this past Saturday. Asked tons of questions about dosing, how to do it safely, and the things to expect on different dosages. Right. So we're gonna talk about that. It's never a bad time to bring it up. But before we do, Nerdy wanted to do a giveaway. So how are you thinking about doing this, man? You want to roll a dice? You want to? What are you thinking, man?
You got a can?
Um, I do have a can somewhere,
See
but
if you can find something. Turn your camera off and see if you can find something, and we'll come back to you in a minute. And I'll cover some of this.
how about we just have somebody volunteer? We got 19 people here. If anyone that's here is 21 and up,
Stick a hand up.
and
Put a
stick
hand
your
up in
hand
there.
up.
Say, you know what? I could really use some microdoses, Nerdy. It'd be sweet if you
I
send me
have
some.
I have live chat up right now. So first person in my chat that I see, um, you'll get your choice. Looks like they're all ape mixed with hillbilly pumpkin, but these ones are 200 milligrams each, and these ones are 100 milligrams each.
Sweet. Some different doses.
But it
Cool.
seems like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's probably 10 in the 200 milligrams and probably 20 in the 100 milligrams. Looks like there's twice as many capsules in there. So
Two grams
it's
a
the same
piece.
amount, depending on which one you want. It just depends on, do you want 200 milligrams each or do you want 100 milligrams each? And 100
All
milligrams
right.
each will go a little bit further.
I'll let you keep an eye on
All right.
chat,
So
and then
we
I'll
got
kind of just run through this
Daniel.
real quick.
Daniel's the winner.
Sweet.
Daniel volunteers.
Congratulations,
I
man.
am sending it to Daniel. Congratulations.
Awesome, Daniel.
And would you prefer the 200 milligrams or the 100 milligrams, Daniel?
Yes.
Yes. Little brown mushroom category. Yeah, we found a ton of those recently. Hopefully next month we'll be doing a foraging expedition for you guys. But yeah, let's get into this real fast. Just to run through it. We've already ran through this before. You guys have seen this before. This is just a general guideline. It's not an exact science. Some of this is estimated science. It's just something to go by for a first time experiencer. Things you can expect with different dosages, such as what Nerdy's giving out right now, is referred to as a microdose. It's going to be in the microdose range. You're going to feel slight creativity, improved focus. Maybe you'll feel nothing at all, right? You should feel improved sleep, reduced headaches, things like that. If you're looking for a little bit more of a creative dose, that's what's known as a museum dose, and it can range anywhere from a half a gram to a gram and a half, depending on the type of mushroom you have. It's important to experiment with the mushroom that you have to make sure. And you only know by being able to take it. So start with a small amount, a microdose amount, and then work your way up. With a museum dose, you're going to get way more vivid colors. You're going to get a lot more euphoria, distracted thoughts, enhanced creativity, slight visuals, melty or breathable textures, things like that, losing track of time. And the higher dose you go, the more increased visuals you'll have, more of an ego dissolution and ego death, so on, so forth. There are different protocols: the Stamets stack, the vitamin protocol. Make sure you take a couple weeks off in between. I was recently microdosing for nonstop, all day, every day, and just to experiment. And again, I figured out for myself that what this is saying is true. It's nice to take a break between because the medicine works better if you let your body come back to a baseline every couple of days. There's a couple of different guidelines with lemon tech, cocoa tech, banana tech. You guys can always just screenshot this and read through those. Some of the risk to be concerned about with taking magic mushrooms. If you're pregnant or breastfeeding, should probably avoid psilocybin can temporarily increase heart rate for blood pressure. Should be avoided by people with epilepsy or seizures. If you're taking SSRIs or MAOIs, you should exercise extreme caution due to the risk of serotonin syndrome. It talks a little bit about it. Psilocybin is generally not recommended for individuals with personal family history of psychotic conditions such as schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, and so forth. Those with significant trauma histories who lack coping skills or safety plan may also be at risk for emotional distress. People with PTSD and things like that should exercise caution whenever using psilocybin. And psilocybin should be administered in controlled healthcare setting with trained professionals in an ideal setting. Not everyone's going to have this at their exposure, but again, it's nice to go into it with this chart so you can keep in mind the risk and rewards, and also keep out of reach of children at all times. Yeah, start low and go slow. Just see how it affects your body. If ever you try a little bit, a microdose or two, and you're like, oh, I kind of felt jittery and I felt nervous and I didn't like that, then don't take it. It's not for you. But if you feel good, you can experiment with different levels. Maybe try a museum dose, or maybe even more than that, right? The moon's coming out tomorrow, so like Nerdy said, maybe a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but always
New
just
beginnings tomorrow.
practice safety. Know your source, know where you're getting your mushrooms from, know it's from a trustable, reliable source. And whenever you're taking them, don't assume what you have. Don't listen to what other people say as far as gram dosages. Just try a little bit, see how it feels for you, and then work your way up. Yeah, be safe and have fun. Like the Terrence McKenna quote, he says, "Take it easy, dude, but take it." Like, take it easy,
You take too much.
but take it.
Yeah, you take too much, and then if it's not what you were expecting, well, I mean, you just remember you did it to yourself. And this too shall pass. You might be uncomfortable for hours. That's so what HB is saying is awesome. Work your way up, slow and slow, and figure out. And
so you can
also,
tolerate
like
it.
you said, yeah, but like one variety of, like, say, Enigma versus Ghost, or Enigma versus PE or something. The different varieties have different strengths. So I do like grinding them. And if I have different varieties, I don't care. I'm grinding them. They're all going to the same thing. And I think that's the way to go, because you're going to get. I think they do have different benefits, and you're going to get different benefits from having different varieties in one capsule. And it could be just my mind and placebo, but there's different. I don't know whatever kind of compounds that are in
Alkaloids
different
is
ones. Just
probably
like,
what you're referring to.
yeah, thank you. Like like cannabis,
Beta carotenes and things like that.
Cannabis has different effects. Like one strain is way different than another strain. And
Definitely, man.
the
I agree totally.
same methods is in mushrooms. So be careful, have fun, but don't freak out. Remember, if you dose yourself like that it'll pass and you'll get through it.
Definitely. It's all about having respect. If you have respect for it, you'll like it, and if you don't have respect for it, you'll be too afraid to actually take it, and it'll never be able to help you, because you'll always be like, you know what, I don't want to take it. So you have to take it, but be respectful with it.
I really like that approach, Derek. When I was in Telluride, I went to this panel on medicinal mushrooms. And basically, one of the things I took away from it was all mushrooms are medicinal. Just got to eat a lot more of them. Just get more mushrooms in your diet and more variety of mushrooms in your diet. Every mushroom has different, like you were talking about, different micronutrients and things like that. The more mushrooms you eat, the better your body gets at digesting the chitin too. It's if you currently have a problem digesting chitin, just introduce more chitin from different sources in your diet, and your body will just naturally start building up a better enzymes
I've
and
noticed
stuff
that
to break it down.
myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's what the actual doctors are finding out too. Just
Have some
mushrooms
papaya
as a
with it.
whole.
You'll get tons of extra
Yeah,
nutrients, and it'll help you digest your mushrooms too.
I think there
Yeah,
might be
it's all about
chitin in it.
leveling. I've been seeing that lately. It's like leveling up in life, just making yourself a little bit better. You know, to be able to fight the next boss around the corner, you're gonna want that papaya and want those mushrooms. Trust me.
So papaya also has chitinase in it, which helps break down chitin specifically.
Cool,
I just looked it up.
very cool, dude.
I
So
also
yeah,
Not
it's something
surprised.
you can make a smoothie out of it or whatever.
I have microdose capsules that I made that have turkey tail, lion's mane, reishi, and cordyceps.
Nice.
Great way to
And
stack.
so, yeah, yeah, exactly. Stack them and get the multiple benefits. But it's not something I have to take in the morning, because if I take it at night, they will keep you awake.
Mm,
Yeah.
Magic psilocybin containing mushrooms keep me awake too.
Yeah.
I never take. I generally take the supplement at night, but I'm like I'll anticipate that I'll be up all night. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
just know that you're not
I
going to
usually
bed.
can
And if
fall
you are
asleep
going to
pretty
bed,
easy.
it's going to be visuals with the blanket over your head or something.
I usually can always fall asleep pretty easy. Sometimes most of the time, honestly, like I would say about 50% of the time that I trip, I'll get up to my peak and fall right asleep because I'll just be so relaxed, closing my eyes, meditating, laying down. I'll just fall right asleep. But I also have noticed, I think I've talked about this on the show as well too. If I'm like, what I'll do a lot of the times is I'll dose, I'll get in the shower, and then I'll be coming out of the shower whenever I'm like coming up. If I'm like moving around listening to music and I never sit down, I'll be able to keep that energy going. But if I sit down and like start relaxing myself, I won't be able to get up. I'll be locked down. So it's just unique. I
You gotta
figured it.
yawn
Yeah, true.
when you start yawning, and yeah, that's when you could end up falling asleep. And then
Hmm.
I've done that. And I thought, do I want to stay up for this, or do I want to have really awesome dreams? Because you want to be
Yeah,
up.
right.
I could fall asleep, but I stay up. Like Nerdy said, I'm going to be up for hours and hours.
Hmm. Well, I use the mushrooms as like a healing thing. So if my body's saying to me that I need sleep, where I'm so tired that I could fall asleep on these mushrooms, I just let my body fall asleep. I just let the
Oh,
mushrooms
it's so
do whatever
powerful.
my body needs. Sometimes I just need that rest. And it's just showing me. Like sometimes that's as simple as a trip for me is just to get high on mushrooms, just to realize, hey man, you need some rest. Lay down and go to sleep. And then it's like a lot of people would call it a waste, but to me it's like it's just what I needed. It's just the thing that I needed.
And a lot of people, they do have a different protocol. Like some people like to be well rested before they dose and everything.
I
And
do.
there's other people that wait till they're slap worn out, because then they think, like their body
I've
is
done
going to
both. Right. Be more
do
enhanced, essentially.
better with it. Mhm.
Hmm. A good
We
way if
lost.
you're trying to look. I'm sure he'll go back in a second. Yeah, if you're looking to enhance your mushrooms, and then talk about that with the chocolate as well, 70% cocoa, 70% dark chocolate or more, 90, 80%, whatever. It's super great to enhance the effects of psilocybin. And it attaches to the same receptors. It's a lot of the reason why it releases oxytocin. It's the love chemical. It's why they give chocolate away during Valentine's Day. Lemon tech is another way that people usually do it, but with lemon tech, you're going to expect more intense, faster on-com, but you're also going to get a shorter trip. So chocolate's my preferred method. You guys should do them both together. It's all preferences, really. There he goes.
I think
Welcome
I
back
think
in, Matt.
for
I'm back.
hot cocoa is my favorite.
Me
Lemon
too,
tech,
sir.
it is very effective, quick onset, doesn't last as long, but the taste, I mean, it is like, uh,
Yeah,
I'll mix
could be
like about a
lemonade.
shot. Yeah, just a little one and just swill it. you know. But to have something to drink and enjoy, I like a hot cocoa dose. That's much better.
It's great you mentioned that though, because a lot of people underestimate how little vitamin C or citrus that you need to actually convert psilocin for lemon tech. You could put a glass of water with your mushrooms, and just a couple drops of lemon juice will actually be enough to convert. So you don't have to put too much lemon juice if you wanted to make it other flavors, or even add it with your hot cocoa, like you're saying right now. Yeah, pretty cool. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions?
I should point out that for the movie tonight, since it's movie night Wednesday, we were talking about maybe watching, I think last week we were talking about watching Waking Life, and then someone mentioned Reefer Madness. I was like, that's a good idea. I started watching Reefer Madness, and I'm like, this is so boring and dry. I don't know if we could get through it. So there's this other movie that mentions Reefer Madness in it, and I think it's kind of the general theme about how ridiculous Reefer Madness was. And it's called Grass. It's like a documentary format, very entertaining. And Woody Harrelson is the narrator, and I think it's really, really good. I think the documentary ends around like the Clinton administration, but recent news, we just got cannabis rescheduled to Schedule
3, 100%, man.
So it might be interesting to just see where things were in the beginning and where we're at today. And it's just a nice, entertaining, informative movie. Woody Harrelson's great too. Can't go wrong there. Everybody loves Woody.
I feel like it's a super political topic, but maybe we could actually talk about it on the show one day. Talk a little bit. Cannabis is heading anyway. Maybe not so much about where it's came from, but yeah, where it's going. While I just try to talk about the fundamentals of cannabis, because anyway, so.
Yeah.
What do you guys think, man? You got anything else?
Grass. It's called Grass.
What do you think about the show, man? Tolerance. I feel like it's going to be a great segue to lead us into being nice versus being kind. What being a good person is versus being a kind person. What's the difference? Being truly good versus being a kind person, or being a nice person to people. And we're going to do a little bit of a reading on C.S. Lewis, a chapter on this, his take on this. Super great author. And then we're going to talk a little bit about courage and creativity. We talked a little bit about it today. It's a thing that I'm super passionate about. It's something that I don't have proof of, but I find it in my life that if I find courage and creativity in everything I do, the universe rewards it. So, yeah. Talk a little bit about this later on in the upcoming week or two. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Okay, if you have any questions, reach out to us. Social media, you can always drop a comment on YouTube. You can always drop comments right here before we get out of here.
I'm currently getting caught up. I'm getting caught up in messages. So if you send me a message, it might take a couple of days, a little bit longer than 24 hours for me to get back to you.
No worries. Just reach out. Yeah, we'll do our best. If you guys need anything, reach out, visitjourneyschurch.org. Sign up for a membership. If you guys have any questions about the membership or what that entails, again, reach out. We'll do our best to answer your questions. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for supporting. And also, we had a great turnout Saturday. Thank you guys for showing up in person. If anybody's here watching, and stay tuned for our next event, maybe next month. Keep you guys updated on that. Everyone have a good night. Woody was give everybody a goodbye, and we'll get out of here.
We'll scroll everybody out, and we'll watch the little outro here with our tenants.
Bye, everyone. Y'all please have a good night.
We stepping slow at dawn, mystic journeys on the door, boots to Golden baskets by the bench, sage and yarrow in the air. Old hands pass a soft-born truth like firelight we learn to share. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take it all to heart. Don't make a spell of what you see. We begin where we are. Mystic journeys hold us close. Mystic journeys we belong. For agreements, for bright stones, we keep walking. We stay strong. Mystic journeys hold us close. Mystic journeys sing it on. Grateful hands and open doors. We are many. We are one. Out past the cedar line, we kneel where the chanterelles hide. Bitter greens and rosemary, moon white stems in soil and pine. Someone names the healing leaf. Someone knows the mushroom sign. Someone tells a grand old tale, and we pass it down in time. Don't assume the wound is yours. Don't invent the cloud. Speak with care and listen deep. Let the circle be proud. Mystic journeys hold us close. Mystic journeys we belong. For agreements, for bright stones, we keep walking. We stay strong. Mystic journeys hold us close. Mystic journeys sing it on. Grateful hands and open doors. We are many. We are one. And if the week has worn us thin, we bring it to the table. Soup and stories, cracked out laughs, the kind that make you able. Ancient wisdom in the stew, in the herb jars, in our names. Every act of gentle care turns the dark into a flame. Mystic journeys hold us close. Mystic journeys we belong. For agreements, for bright stones, we keep walking.